Hello, everyone. My name is Tina King, and I will be presenting on the CRS report for Congress entitled A Brief Summary of the Medical Privacy Rule. This report clearly outlines the process in the creation and implementation of the Modified Medical Privacy Rule. Recent years has witnessed an increasing reliance on individuals' medical information for decision-making purposes. Several factors have developed that jeopardize the confidentiality and security of patient information, such as using healthcare information for non-healthcare reasons, the expanding participation of government agencies, accessibility of the internet to retrieve health information, development of third-party payers, and the growing number of healthcare parties having access to personally identifiable health data. Disclosure of identifiable patient health information can have a far-reaching effect on people's lives and can potentially cause great harm, necessitating legislation for the establishment of strong legal protection. A major factor for the enactment of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, or HIPAA, was the total lack of standardization in the management of confidentiality and privacy of healthcare information. Additionally, there were no federal laws protecting confidentiality of patient information within all circumstances. To resolve these issues, HIPAA was enacted as the governing legislation. However, if a state law is more stringent in its protection of patients and their health information, then state law will prevail. HIPAA was also created to promote significant improvements for providing continued health insurance coverage while simplifying its provision. It facilitates the prevention of waste, fraud, and abuse in the healthcare industry and promotes better access to long-term health care. The privacy rule was mandated in 2000 as an extension to the HIPAA Act, and enforcement was to begin in 2003. It prohibits medical facilities from disclosing protected patient information to any third parties unless otherwise permitted by the rules. It applies to any electronically transmitted information and protected patient information in any form. The rule also includes factors such as individual rights, permitted uses and disclosures with and without consent or authorization, enforcement, and penalties. Although the HIPAA privacy rule was criticized for the administrative and financial responsibilities it imposed on healthcare facilities, consumer groups and privacy advocates commended the protective legislation for its stronger stance on safeguarding patient information. What is the most important takeaway from this article? The modification of the privacy rule is the result of an ongoing deliberation over access to private medical records. Privacy advocates have stood strong in their quest for legislation facilitating confidentiality and security of healthcare records. The result was the issuance of the privacy rule and mandated compliance by 2003. What important facts support this takeaway message? The privacy rule supports and protects individuals' health information and mandates that all covered entities are required to remain compliant with and enforce its regulations. Additionally, violators who knowingly or inappropriately disclose patient health information will be subject to civil monetary penalties of $100 per violation up to $25,000 per year, and criminal penalties up to $250,000 and imprisonment up to 10 years. Did I think this article was outdated? And if so, what is the more up-to-date information on the topic? This article is a little outdated as it addresses the modification to the privacy rule, which was effective in 2003. A more recent regulation involves the Health Information Technology for Economic and Clinical Health Act, which was enacted in 2009 to reinforce the rules mandated under the HIPAA privacy rule. Before the advent of the HITECH Act, any business associates of covered entities who had access to patient information and failed to protect it were only liable to the covered entities under their business associate agreements and were not subjected to any government penalties or fines. The HITECH Act has expanded the reach of the HIPAA privacy rule security requirements by mandating that all business associates are to be held directly accountable for following the HIPAA privacy rule's privacy requirements. How does this article tie into the assigned readings for this lesson? Both the article and the assigned reading reveal the necessity of federal regulations to protect private patient information. Both describe the expansion the HIPAA privacy rule provides as it permits enforcement of state laws that are more stringent than federal regulations. Additionally, both the article and the assigned reading define the rules relating to the use of protected patient health information. How can I apply what I have learned in this article to on-the-job situations? It is crucial to understand the privacy rule for maintaining compliance, not only to support protection of individuals' most intimate details contained within their medical records, but also to avoid incurring severe monetary penalties in addition to possible imprisonment. And these are the references that I used for this article. I thank you for your attention, and I hope you have enjoyed my presentation.